Women's Reservation Bill is a very important topic for all the competitive examinations, including UPSC and other state public service commission. Okay. So, key point to note down regarding Women's Reservation Bill is that the official name of this bill is Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. It's a Sanskrit phrase which means salutation to the power of woman in performance. So they can ask you, what is this Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam? So it's nothing but the Women's Reservation Bill, which was introduced by the Parliament in a special session which was convened between September 18th to 21st. Okay. So note down that regarding for your objective or subjective exam, they can ask you this also. What is this Constitution 128 Amendment Bill 2023? So they can ask you what is Women's Reservation Bill, or they can ask you what is this Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, or they can ask what is this Constitution 128 Amendment Bill 2023. Okay, the Constitution 128 Amendment Bill provides for reservation in Lok Sabha as well as State Legislative Assembly. Okay, so before looking into this provisions of this bill, you need to understand that in order to provide reservation for women in the Parliament as well as in the State Legislative Assembly, you need to amend the Constitution. Okay, please note down, already 73rd and 74th Amendment, Constitutional Amendment, have been amended the Constitution to introduce 1/3 of the reservation for women in local bodies, that is in urban local bodies as well as in the rural local bodies, that is Panchayat and the municipalities. So now with this 128 Constitution Amendment Bill, they are planning to introduce reservation for women in state assemblies as well as assemblies, constituencies at the state level as well as at the parliamentary level. Okay, so why it was in news was that in the recent special session, Lok Sabha passed this bill by a majority. This is very important. Okay, 456 members were present in this special session, Lok Sabha. 454 members supported the bill and 2 voted against the bill. And in Rajya Sabha, all the members who were present, that was 214 members were presented when this bill was presented in Rajya Sabha, everyone supported the bill. And so both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha passed the bill with a big majority. That is, the constitutional requirement is it's very important, 2/3 majority of the members present and voting. So more than the constitutional requirement, we got a very good majority. Only you can say that in Rajya Sabha it was every member who were present and who voted supported the bill. In Lok Sabha only 2 members were against the bill. Okay, and very important point to note down is that since this bill tried to amend the federal feature of the Constitution, there is one more condition is there. In order for this bill to become an act, not only 2/3 majority is required in the Parliament, but also a simple majority of half of the state assemblies have to pass it. So half of the state assembly have to pass this bill, so that then only the president can sign the bill and then this bill can become an act. So this also they can ask in your any competitive preliminary exam. Okay, so please note down these points regarding this Women Reservation Bill. Now, you need to have some idea about the history about Women's Reservation Bill. Okay, before this 2023 bill, 4 times this bill was introduced in the Parliament. In the year 1996, 1998, 1999 and in 2008. The first 3 bills, that is 1996, 1998 and 1993 bill got lapsed because of the dissolution of the respective Lok Sabha. And note down, Rajya Sabha are not dissolved. Okay, so only Lok Sabha can be dissolved. But the fourth bill, which was introduced in Rajya Sabha in 2008 and passed in the Rajya Sabha in the year 2010. So the fourth bill, one difference between the first three bills and the fourth bill is that the fourth bill was introduced in Rajya Sabha in 2008, and 2 years after, in 2010, it was passed by the Rajya Sabha. But unfortunately, the Lok Sabha, the 15th Lok Sabha, was dissolved, so that this bill, fourth bill, was also lapsed. So all the four bill didn't get the real fruit of women empowerment. That's the basic idea behind this bill. Okay, but the fifth bill, this time with a big support from both the ruling party and from the opposition, supported the bill, and the 128th Constitution Amendment Bill was passed by both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So please note down, just it's not important, they will not ask you the date, but on 19th September, it was introduced in Lok Sabha. In 20th September, it was passed in Lok Sabha, and in 21st September, Rajya Sabha was in Rajya Sabha, it was passed, and after that, the special session was over. Okay, so and one more important point to note down is that this is the first bill to be passed in the new parliament. Okay, that also they can ask as a question. Okay, in the objective, in the preliminary examination. Okay, now the key features of this bill. The key feature of this bill is that one is the important thing, that is reservation for women. Okay, so what is the reservation? 1/3 or 33%, 1/3 or 33% of all seats for women in Lok Sabha. Okay, so 1/3 or 33% of all seats in Lok Sabha and assembly constituencies across the country. So when you need to understand that not only the state assembly, state legislature assembly, but there are union territories which is having legislature, that such as National Capital Territory of Delhi. Okay, so very interesting thing is that we know that Jammu and Kashmir is now a union territory with the legislature, but no election have happened. So this bill is silent about Jammu and Kashmir. And Puducherry is also a union territory, which is also having legislature, but that is also silent in this bill. In this bill, that is 128th Constitution Amendment Bill, it says about Lok Sabha, state assemblies, as well as the assemblies of National Capital Territory of Delhi. Okay, so why it is silent? Only in future we'll get to know what is the government intent. Okay, so one thing is regarding 1/3 reservation for women in Lok Sabha and assembly constituencies. Okay, and already we know that, okay, the constitution is already giving reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So within that, the seats will be reserved for women. So it will also apply to the seats, women, scheduled caste women and scheduled tribe women will get reservation in that quota. Okay. Then regarding the commencement of reservation, when this reservation for women will commence, so there is a condition this bill says. The condition regarding the reservation to become effective is that a census has to be conducted. I told you regarding the constitutional requirement when this bill will become an act. Once this bill becomes an act, that is, now both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have passed the bill. Now it will go to the state assemblies. When half of the state assemblies pass this bill, and then when the president give assent, this bill will become an act. So after this, after the commencement of this bill, or once this bill become an act, the next census, whatever the census happens, okay, so census has to be conducted. And based on the census, delimitation exercise has to be conducted. That is, a new delimitation commission will be appointed, and this delimitation commission will rearrange the assembly constituencies and Lok Sabha constituencies based on the new census, and you should also know that, okay, 2021 census was not conducted because of COVID-19. Okay, so hopefully we are expecting that very soon the government will do that exercise, and the latest census will come up, and the delimitation commission will set up, and they will go for a delimitation of the assembly constituencies and Lok Sabha constituencies, and after that only this reservation for women will come into effect. It means in 2024 Lok Sabha election, women's reservation is quite impracticable. Okay. And another important point is regarding this reservation for women. This bill says that reservation is initially for 15 years. That's another important point, 15 years. But the bill also says that if the parliament decide to extend the reservation for women by a separate law, the parliament can extend this women's reservation. Okay? And the final key feature of this bill is regarding the rotation of seats. Okay? So once a seat is reserved for women, okay, the seats reserved for women will be rotated after each delimitation. That's a very important point. Okay? Not after every 5 years. The rotation of seats reserved for women will be rotated after each delimitation exercise is being done. Okay, so the parliament again have the power to make law regarding the rotation of, means when this delimitation exercise will be conducted. Okay, so these are the key features of the bill. There are more to discuss, but we are winding up regarding the key features of the bill. In the mains analysis, there will be more discussion about the pros and cons of this bill. Thank you.